What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Nurture Nugget. Now, on today's episode, we're going to talk about the concept of time and pressure, which I think is a really cool topic to talk about because so many of us talk about these two things in conjunction with each other. And let's unpack that a bit further, shall we? So, time is very much a subjective concept, right? It is a really funny concept when you think about it. It seems to move quickly and slowly at the same time. And don't ask me to explain that in detail because that'll be quite complicated. But we catch ourselves saying things like, God, it only feels like this happened yesterday, right? When it happened ages ago. Or it could be something the other way around. Something like, God, this week is dragging. I wish it would be over. And I guess the sort of common element that a lot of us are haunted by in that concept of time is also the concept of pressure. And, you ask yourself, the pressure of what? And that is very much a pressure towards reaching a life that society expects you to reach by a certain point. It's honestly such a present problem today because we all talk about these unwritten rules, the expectations that we all have and things that we should have achieved by certain points in our life, right? And I think all age categories really kind of face this, whether you're in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, 50s, etc. It's something that haunts all of us. I mean, I remember coming straight out of university and thinking that I had to immediately get a job because that's what the norm is. And then on the other side of that, I know a lot of people who are perhaps in like their late 20s or they're approaching 30, and it's like, if you do not have a house and the rest of your life planned out, then, you're lost and, a failure. That might be a bit far, but you understand what I'm trying to say here. And I won't lie, that's something that, I also am definitely aware of. I think it's only natural to have that little bit of pressure anyway. Perhaps a little bit of pressure can be good, but there is certainly way too much of it in society today, and that is a problem. And one of those things that fuels that problem further is actually social media. Now, I'm someone who's a huge advocate of social media because of the opportunities it can provide to you and the audience, you can bring together for positive movements. But it can also move, of course, the other way. And I hate to say it, but unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff out there today that, just isn't great, and perhaps is kind of overshadowing the positive elements, or the more positive elements of social media. And what I mean by how social media can fuel that pressure when it comes to time and things like where you should be in your life, we all will see our friends or people we know, we will see their feeds on Instagram, on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, whatever you use. And we'll see something on their feed like them owning a huge house or buying their first home or going on this like really nice holiday on a beautiful beach, and we'll be like, God, how are they doing this already? How have they got the financial resource to have achieved this already? And we start comparing our lives and eventually devaluing our own. And it's a really easy sort of trap to fall into. It's really important that we try and find a way to avoid falling into that trap. Now, the issue is that avoiding that is actually very difficult, because from a really young age, these unwritten rules have been hammered into our heads constantly, right? That we had to achieve these things by this point, etc. And now I'm going to share something that I learned from Jay Shetty that has really helped me kind of battle that concept of time and pressure. If you don't know who Jay Shetty is, you know, I don't know where you've been really. No, but in all seriousness, I will link his socials in the description. You should definitely go and follow him if you are passionate about, you know, self-development and just wanting to live a better life. Now, this concept that he speaks about is very much around how everybody has their own time and their own clock, okay? And how he describes it is very much that if you are doing the right things, things will happen to you at the right times. And that looks different for everyone, okay? Things might come quickly for someone, it might come a little bit later for somebody else. But the point is, we all have our own time and our own clock. Now, a few examples to put this into more context, right? Stan Lee, the founder of Marvel, right? We all know Marvel, massive company, made incredible movies. But Stan Lee got his first big break when he was 50. Okay? When he was 50 years old. Another example that you've heard me reference in this podcast before, J.K. Rowling. She only sort of made her mark at 32 when, well, only after being rejected from multiple publishers until she found that one who would, you know, go on to publish the infamous Harry Potter books. Another example, Steve Carell, right? The really funny guy off The Office, you know, really famous actor now. He got his big break when he was 40. And there are tons of examples like that. Richard Branson, you know, only succeeded and founded Virgin much later on in his life, right? But today, it's like everybody needs to be a millionaire by the time they're 25 years old. That's the kind of pressure we feel, right? Especially the young people, the Gen Z and the upcoming generations. But that's very much a way of reminding yourself that life is very much not a sprint. It really is a marathon, and that things will come at the right time, at their own pace. You have your own clock. Trust that process. Now, hopefully that is something that was beneficial to you today. I know I certainly need to keep reminding myself of this concept because, you know, it's only natural for all of us to kind of fall into that trap every now and again, but we just need to zoom out and look at things in perspective, and hopefully that helps kind of, you know, bring you back down to earth and allows you to actually realize, okay, no, I'm in a good space right now. As long as I keep doing these things, I'm going to get there eventually, right? So, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Nurture Network podcast. I hope this Nurture Nugget was valuable to you. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, all that jazz. But thank you very much again, and I will catch you in the next episode.